Who told you that healing was pretty? See, I think we have a misunderstanding of what it means to actually heal. See, you thought it meant mimosas and self-care all day. No, 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 no. Healing can be very painful. For you to have to go back into your childhood and experience some of the traumatic experiences that you went through and sit in that emotion again and relive it, for you to have to bring back up thoughts that you've locked away, that can be a very painful experience. See, the problem with social media is we make everything beautiful and aesthetic, but babe, your life isn't aesthetic. Healing is painful at times, it's messy, it's uncomfortable. That's why a lot of people choose not to do it, but it's necessary. If you ever want to become the best version of yourself, if you ever want to meet the version of you that God has called you to be, healing is necessary. Healing will have you crying over the memories you thought you forgot. It will have you mad at people you thought you forgave. It's sitting with emotions that you've avoided for years. But that's exactly where the breakthrough begins. In the moments that don't look cute on camera. Because baby, I be in here snotty nosed mad, okay? I was in therapy mad. Mad at everybody. My mama, my daddy, my grandma, my ex, myself. I was mad. I was angry. And it wasn't pretty. But it's beautiful now because of who I've become. But at the time, it was messy. It was ugly. I didn't want to be involved in that. But I had to do it because I couldn't continue to run from me. And at a point in time, sis, you're going to get tired of running from you. And you're going to have to face you either now or later. And I'm hoping that it's now because I don't want you to be old, finally coming into these realizations of everything that you could have been if you just would have healed. See, so many of us are walking around with so many unhealed wounds, so much trauma that's unpacked, and all we're doing is we're just numbing them, smoking, drinking, sleeping around, hopping in relationships, gossiping, social media. We do whatever it is we need to do to numb the pain. We'll watch TV for hours. If I don't have to feel, if I don't have to live in my hell of a reality, I will watch reality TV to escape it. And I don't want you to be that person because God has so much in store for you, but the enemy has been targeting you since you was a child. And this is why you're battling with the depression. This is why you're battling with the anxiety. It's not by chance nor accident that you clicked on this video. This was divine timing because God has a message for you. He wants you to heal. It's time. You can't continue to ignore the past. Stop acting like what happened to you didn't happen when you know it happened. You know it happened. And I'm not being mean, and I don't want you to revisit it because I'm just being this big mean person, but it's pivotal for your healing. How else would God use your story for his glory if you won't revisit it? I'm going to tell you what I learned about healing. One, healing is going to expose everything that you've been hiding. Miss Perfect, Miss Have It All Together, Miss I Ain't Never Lacking, I Ain't Never Slacking, I got every. It's going to reveal all that stuff that you've been hiding, all that stuff that you think you over. I want you to just sit with yourself in silence and ask God to begin to bring up things that you have stored in your body, in your mind, that you thought that you have forgotten, and just watch all of it. Your mind is going to be blown away by all of the stuff that God begins to bring back to your memory. You're going to be like, I forgot about that. Yeah. When you start healing, you start seeing patterns, the pain, and the people that kept you stuck. I don't want you to run from it because awareness is the first start to healing, to freedom. Let me tell you another thing healing gonna do. It's gonna cost you your comfort. Not to outgrow people, habits, relationships, job, sometimes even family, and the old version of yourself that felt safe. Because growth and comfort cannot live in the same place. So you're gonna have to choose. Either you're gonna stay stuck and comfortable, or you're going to get uncomfortable for a little bit so that you can grow. And the last thing healing does is it makes room for peace. Every tear you shed is new space for joy. Do you know that? Clarity, alignment. It's not punishment, it's preparation. I just want you to understand that healing is not pretty. Sometimes you're going to go through the stages of all the 5 stages of anger, of sadness, of grief, of happiness. You're going to think you forgive them, and then you're going to slide right back into anger. And then you're going to be angry for a little bit, and then you're going to say, you know what? Finally, I got closure. Finally, I got clarity. I ain't even mad about it no more. It is what it is. I'm going to draw out the life lessons that I can take from it, and I'm going to chunk everything up to the game. But I want you to understand that once you heal, the way that God can use you. See, God can't really use you right now because you too unhealed. All it takes is for one person to look at you wrong, and you finna risk it all. All it takes for one person to misunderstand you and to have the wrong tone with you, and you're going to risk it all. See, healing also develops your character as a person. See, there's just certain things that I don't entertain no more because it's not worth my energy. Not because I think I'm all that in a bag of chips and some dip, which I do, But there's just certain things that I don't entertain anymore because it's beneath me and it's not who I was. But the old version of me, oh baby, she would have went off. She would have snapped. She would have let you know. But this new version of me, God is growing me. He's elevating me. He's healing me. He's putting me in new rooms. He's putting me in different places. He's giving me new level of money. He's putting me around different friendships and in different circles. I can't bring that same old hurt mentality, wounded woman and try to walk in this room that God has me in. I would ruin all my connections and blessings. And I don't know why I want to talk about this, but another thing healing would do for you is allow you to have woman friendships, because a lot of women don't have woman friendships because you are in competition. You are in silent competition. But God will begin to heal those wounds in you where you don't feel the need to compete, and you will start collaborating instead, because we can all win. We can all eat. But that's another video for another day. But listen, you gotta heal. Listen, staying stuck like this is gonna cost you way too much. I want you to think about what staying this version of you is gonna cost you. Maybe it's gonna cost you that husband you want. Maybe it's gonna cost you that career you want, that business you want, the freedom, the joy, the happiness. You gotta think about what's attached to you not changing. Forget about how much it hurts to change. Think about how much it's going to hurt to stay stuck. See, pain is going to come regardless. Either you're going to hurt from growing or you're going to hurt from staying stuck. Listen, I just had 5 wisdom teeth removed out of my mouth. And I had a choice. Either I was going to stay stuck and be fearful of the pain that I was going to go through because of them touching it, or I was going to go through the pain of them removing it and me recovering and feeling much better now. You got to choose your pain. And for some of y'all choosing the wrong type of pain. At least allow your pain to pay off. You're going through unnecessary hurt, unnecessary chaos, unnecessary pain. For what? What's the payoff? You're more damaged. You're more broken. You're more hurt. This is why I don't understand how us as women, how we get with men who are just toxic. They come in our lives and they just damage all of us. They damage everything that we work so hard for. They break your heart. They disrespect you. They lower your self-confidence. And what was the payoff? A little bit of good sex, a little bit of attention, a little bit of company because you didn't want to feel lonely. But if you would have just sat in that loneliness, if you would allow God to come into that loneliness, and if you would allow him to heal that loneliness, then you will understand that it's not really a relationship that you want. It's just you feeling like you're not connected to anybody and anything. See, there's healthy ways to fill a void, and then there's unhealthy ways to fill a void. But that's another video too. But you got to understand that healing ain't pretty. And I need you to stop trying to be so pretty when it comes to healing, because it's not pretty. Sometimes you're going to be angry. You're going to be mad. You're going to be depressed. You're going to be sad. You're going to have anxiety. I was just crying the other day about the fact that I felt like I have to be the one to come into my family and be the generational curse breaker, especially when it comes to wealth. Because nobody before me felt like they did anything. They didn't give me anything. I had no tools to work with. Everything that I'm doing, I'm learning. And I'm learning, and I'm choosing to be the generational curse breaker because I don't want my children to live through what I had to live through and repeat the cycles that I had to repeat. And I was crying about that because instead of me enjoying my 20s, I have to build in my 20s. And it's not fair when I look out there and I see those rich kids who had everything handed to them. But you know what? Life ain't fair. And it is what it is. And somebody got to do it. So I would rather be the person to do it now so that my kids ain't got to do it later. You got to choose. And I was mad at everybody. Mama, daddy, because what did y'all do with y'all life? That's how I was feeling in the moment. But guess what? After I got done crying, guess what I did? I wiped my tears, propped my phone up, and I made my video. Because I understand that my videos are seeds. They are seeds for a harvest that's going to come later on. See, the problem is you want a right now payoff. You want a right now payoff, and that's why you're not doing anything. But you got to learn how to work regardless. Listen, the right now gratification that everybody be falling into that trap, that's going to keep you stuck. And I don't want you to stay stuck. I want you to be healed, and I want you to be free, and I want you to live in abundance. But you cannot have abundance when you are living in a scarcity and a survival mindset. Abundance does not come to people who have a poverty mindset. And being rich ain't got nothing to do with what's in your pocket. It has everything to do with what's in your mind and what's in your spirit. Because being rich is spiritual first before it's physical. And you got to understand that. But it's not going to come to you until you healed. So listen, I don't want this video to be too long. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this video up. I need you to do me a favor. If you enjoyed this video, I want you to comment down below how much you have enjoyed this video and how it has helped you. And I also want you to drop down recommendations of the type of videos that you want to see and that you want to watch, so that I can know what to speak on. What topics do I need to hit on? Let your girl know, okay? And then I want you to like, and I want you to share, and I want you to subscribe, because I know that this video is powerful enough to help somebody else and to help change their perspective. So if this was a blessing to you, I'm going to catch you in the next video. All right? Bye.